Hi guys, and welcome once again to Curated Logic, where we try and up your brain game. Today, I am going to be reviewing the app Brain Test. This app is kind of like a mini logic maze with a constantly growing number of puzzles, currently 286, that are made to integrate the unique functions of a smartphone in with traditional word and number puzzles. Although there are definitely things to like about this app, what the game lacks, unfortunately, outweighs what it gives. But still, it's worth a review, so let's bring it on. Okay, so let's start with the pros. I really appreciate the graphics and design of this game. The animations and illustrations are simple and cute and had a sense of playfulness that I could not help but get joy from. Just the fact that the illustrations are done to look like they have been drawn on a ripped off piece of paper reminded me of all those illustrations I would attempt to do as a kid, and I loved this feeling of personal nostalgia. There were also some really nice puzzles in amongst the 286 that I completed. Some I liked for the challenge they provided, and some for the fun I had in doing them. And that's kind of it for the pros. Now, I can see some of you might be thinking, well, you like the design and many of the puzzles, isn't that basically the whole game? And you're kind of right. It is a large portion of the game, and as such, the score I am giving is higher than many of you might imagine after I run through the cons. But the cons, to me, are plenty. First, I want to get out of the way what I consider to be the biggest fault of this game, and that is the speed of the game. To demonstrate what I am talking about, I'm going to make you sit through what I can only describe as an ironic screen for the same minute I had to endure. Okay, this would actually get super boring if I continue this, so I'll stop, but you get my point. After the first 30 or so levels where the game played okay, this type of lag happened a lot. At first, I thought perhaps my internet was stuffing up or I had too much running in the background of my phone, but after numerous tests with other apps and configurations, I discovered it was, at least for me, just the app. Some of the puzzles literally took me 5 seconds to solve, so to have to then wait up to sometimes 12 times that for the next puzzle was frustrating, to say the least. In addition to this, sometimes the action I needed to do to win the level just did not work the first times I tried it. So after thinking I was not on the right track, I would waste a lot of time trying other things, only to find out after having to go back to the beginning of my logic that the first action was in fact correct, but was just faulty when I tried it initially. Now, I know that I said there were some really good puzzles within the game, but there were also some that were just not so good. What I am looking for in games in general is logic in challenge. And for every puzzle that provided this, there was another that did not. Sometimes this came down to the way the puzzle was worded. After playing about 50 puzzles or so, I began to feel that the game may have been made by someone who has English as not their primary language. Now, I don't actually know if I am correct with this, but there were enough times that something that was meant to be trickily worded or offer a hint explained itself too literally, either making it easier or harder depending on the context. Because of this, I didn't like the fact that there was no progression of hints. If you took the one hint for a level provided and it was poorly worded or too vague, it didn't help and added nothing to the experience. Some levels, though, you would never need a hint, as there are a finite number of solutions to try, so you could just brute force them. The problem here is that although some levels like this offer explanations about how the answer was arrived at, others do not. This means that if you stumble across the answer, brute forcing or not, you might not know why the answer worked. Of course, I'm not about brute forcing, but I do know some people are. And I do not mind the game assuming that you entered the answer correctly because you knew it. But to do this, don't then provide explanations for other levels. By doing half explained and half not, it makes the gameplay uneven. Finally, always one of my bugbears, the push for money in this game is front and center. Not only are there constant ads, which I could look past if the game ran faster, but also every 4 or so levels you get asked if you want to watch a video for a bonus. Generally, I'm actually okay with this. I know that developers have to make money, but the frequency this came up and slowed the game down further was irritating. It would have been much better if you built up the ability to watch ads for hints. That way you could choose when to do it, and there would be no need for constant interruptions. What is funny about this though, is that it's one of the bigger reasons I wouldn't pay for the app. I understand it is a hard balance to strike. Enough ads and links to be worthwhile financially, but not too many to put people off playing further and actually purchasing the app ad-free. And I think, especially with the eventual lag of the app, in this case the balance was not there. So as you can see, many more negatives than positives in my mind. Still, as I said initially, what is good is absolutely enough to give the app a passing grade. That is why I give this app a 6 out of 10. I didn't hate this app, but it has not made me in any way really want to play any updates or sequels. Now, even though this is the case, I have decided for a game like this one, I will do an accompanying walkthrough video. I will be working on this over the next day or so, and it should be up shortly after that. If you have played this app and you have an opinion on it, or did or didn't experience some of the issues I had, please let me know in the comments below. As I always say, my opinion is just that, an opinion. Okay, if you haven't already, please follow me on any of the socials listed below or support me on Patreon. I hope all is well wherever you are in the world. Until next time, keep upping your brain game and have fun. See ya.